Hello, everybody. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, welcome. And I guess I should say, ho, ho, ho. I'm Dan, your friendly fishmonger at dansfish.com. We do this live stream every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Mountain Time. That's 9 Eastern for those who might be mountain challenged. And today is the annual spawning mop beard giveaway. That's right. I think last year we started this. I was making spawning mops and I was like, that's kind of like a beard. And I was thinking of something fun to do for, around Christmas time stream. And I was like, I know what I'll do. I'll make a beard out of spawning mops. So I did. And I was giving something else away. And to my surprise, everyone during the stream kept saying, hey, we want that beard. Let's do the spawning mop giveaway. So we did. And we're doing it again because I've had some more requests. Now, the beard does cover up my microphone pretty well. My microphone's down there. So can you guys hear me okay? Or if I need to, I'll move the location of my microphone. But let me know if you can hear me okay. If not, I'll change the location of the microphone so it's not too low of a volume throughout the entire stream. But there you have it. This is what we're giving away today. This beauty. This is 5 separate spawning mops. Each has a couple hundred strands on it, so we're not skimping. We like a nice full spawning mop beard. We can hear you just a little muffled. Okay, well, people are saying it's good. Loud and clear, good. It's a little softer. Okay, let me just turn it up a bit here. Let's see if that fixed it. If that fixed it, great. If not, I'll move it. Everyone's listening on a different device, right? Some of you are listening on phones, some are on computers, some are on televisions. So if there's a subset of people that are having trouble, I can move it. That's not a big deal. But yeah, look at the size of this thing. This is like, boom. That is a massive mop. It just keeps going for days. Sounds good. Okay, sounds like we're okay. So we will proceed. I will wear this mop as long as I can, but at some point it's going to get very itchy and very hot. Okay, let's do what we do. So we're going to do the shipping report to start. After that, we'll talk about the giveaway. We do have some really cool fish that were listed recently that I want to show you. Some are like extremely rare, and some we don't have pictures of yet. So I want to kind of show you what Google says they are, so you get an idea of what we're looking at. And then we'll get to your questions and comments, and that will be the stream for the day. Okay, so just to give some context, January 30th of last year, our success rate shipping fish for the months preceding that, I think 12 months preceding that, something like that, was 98.1% success. So about just under 2% of the fish we sent out had problems. As you know, there was a massive delay because of a Chinese spy balloon thing. Our plane was grounded. It was on a tarmac an extra day at -25, -30 degrees Fahrenheit up in Billings. So there were a lot of losses. So that was a really hard day. We've been gradually clawing our way back from that. And during the summer and warm weather, you tend to get, a little bonus because if there's a delay or something, the fish don't get too cold. So as of last week, we were at 98.5% success. Today we dropped down just a tiny bit, 1/100%. So we're now at 98.49% success. So what's basically going to happen is during the winter, there's going to be just slightly, and it's barely any, but slightly less of a success rate shipping the fish because of the cold. And usually we pack the fish fine, and I'd select the right heat packs and everything's good. Occasionally, I'm a human, so occasionally I do make a blunder and I pick the wrong heat pack combination. thinking that, oh, this should be right, and then it's wrong because there's some weird temperature differential or something like that, and I just didn't calculate it quite right. Very rarely, but that's not something that happens in the summer. And so losses during the winter are just such a skosh, a tick, a tiny bit higher than in the summer. So, and then in the spring and summer, in the warm months, then there's a tiny advantage, and we get faster towards our 99% goal. That's kind of what's happening. But come January 30th, when that big problem shipment drops off, we should boost up quite quickly, providing there hasn't been some other, big problem. I would say that 2 to 3 times a year, there's some kind of big delay where all the shipments that go out that day are delayed. Usually, the fish still make it in great shape. There's only been, I think I'd have to look. In my memory, so I can remember perhaps the last 18 months. And in that time, there's only been once when there was a problem and it actually resulted in a lot of losses in the fish. But that's going to drop off at the end of next month. And so I can't wait to report our success rate come February 1st. But that's where we're at. We're at 98.5. It's not as good as I want. I want 99%. I'm sorry, we're at 98.49. Just under 98.5. And we want better than that, and we're working towards it. One thing that we're doing to get ourselves there is we are hiring a aquarium fish health specialist. That's a position we're looking for. We have a candidate I'm very excited about that we'll be meeting with in a few weeks to see if we can make that happen. But we are still accepting applications, so if you're interested in that position, let me show you where to go. If you go over to the website and you scroll down to the bottom and you click careers down here, then a chief fish health officer, that's what we're looking for. Someone who can work with the fish, make sure that they have the ultimate setup so that they're healthy and happy while they're here, that they have the proper food and plenty of it so they get fat and sassy, and they can diagnose disease. Now, we have a couple veterinarians that can work with this person, help train them, but it's going to be very helpful if this person has some knowledge of medicine in their background. Veterinarian technician, a veterinarian, a nurse, a doctor, something like that, or has worked in some kind of lab environment and is comfortable with microscopes and identifying microscopes and working with laboratories. We do have a couple laboratories we've worked with. Now we tend to work with the one in Washington State. Waddle, I think is what it is. WADDL, I think. What is it? Washington Animal Diagnostic Disease Diagnostic Lab, something like that. And so we're looking for someone to step in and just specialize in spending all their time making sure that the fish are healthy and happy and diagnosing and treating them if there's any disease or problems. So once we get that position in place, I think that might be the key to us getting up to that 99% goal like we want to. So that's where we're at. That's where we're going. The team here works really hard to take care of the fish and to select healthy fish for you and to prepare the fish and spend all the time and the extra labor to prepare the fish properly so they'll get to you alive. And we do a pretty good job. But I think having tracked this now for, I don't remember, a couple years, something like that, I don't think that we're going to make a lot of leaps forward doing the same thing that we're currently doing. So we do want to hire that position. Our mission is to make it so that fish are treated with respect and humanity, and that because we do that, they then arrive to the customer in good enough health that the customer has success with them and can keep them long term. That's what we are striving to do. All right, so that's the shipping report. Let's get to the giveaway. The giveaway is for what you see on my face, this group of spawning mops that I've temporarily turned into a beard for this stream. There are 5 of them. They're nice and hefty. There's a lot of egg collection happening here. And I don't imagine that this is going to be the most popular live stream. We have 203 people here. I don't imagine that we're going to get tons of people here because I don't know how exciting spawning mops are for your average person, even your average fish keeper. But it's too fun not to do it. So we're going to do it. So this is the giveaway. And if you would like to enter that giveaway, enter hashtag MopBeard in the chat. That's hashtag MOPBEARD. No spaces, capitalizations don't matter. Hashtag MopBeard in the chat. And you will be entered to win this lovely appendage growing on my face. Appendage? I don't know. I don't know what you call it. This green, this stellar green accoutrement growing on my face. Yeah, we'll go with that. Anyways, happy holidays, everyone. I hope you're having a great one. And let's go ahead and show you some cool stuff. So I'm first going to show you the fish that we have newly listed, some of which we've never had before, some of which we've only had before like once, like 2 years ago, and we only had a couple of them. And I'm going to show you what those look like. And then I will go to the website and show you some newly released fish that I think some people are going to be very excited about. So here we go. The first one is the Ginga rubra Endler. So this is an amazing Endler, just absolutely beautiful, pure line Endlers. One that you don't see all that often, and ours came from Europe. They were bred and raised in Europe. So it's pretty good quality stock as far as I can tell. I've never had them before, but I think they're absolutely stunning. I love their colors, and I love the fact that it's a nice, pure line. Next, we have the Guyana Red Dragon Angelfish. So these guys come from Guyana, and they have these beautiful red speckles on the upper part of the body, on the head and the upper part of the body, which is why they have their name. The ones we have are pretty darn good sized. These also came out of Europe. So if you're into angelfish and you like the wild types, this is a nice wild type angelfish, as you already know if you're into them. We also have some more Manicapura redbacks, and I'll show you those in a little bit. We have Batis ruber in. It's hard enough to find Batis, let alone Batis ruber. Batis ruber is very difficult to find, but we were able to bring a nice group of these beauties in. Batis are awesome. It's like a cichlid had a baby with a gourami. They are related to gouramis. They're nandids. They're maybe like the prototypical gourami, if you could think about it that way. But they behave a little bit like cichlids, like substrate spawners, defend the nest, all of that. Their color changes based on attitude and mood, etc. And their color can change quite drastically, quite quickly, similar to Batis. But this one is the Batis ruber. Also, another one that's kind of in the same group of fish, if you will, is Dario Hisignan. I think I'm saying that right. This beautiful little Dario. It's got that bold black dot up on the dorsal fin. And besides that is pretty much, a nice little red Dario. Oh, that's a nice picture. I like that picture. Whoever took that knew what they were doing. That's a great shot. So another one you don't see very often, Limia tridens, just a beautiful little Livebearer, wild type Livebearer. I don't know why Limias are not more popular. I like all of them. I haven't met a Limia I didn't like yet. And at this time, we've got, let's just see, how many do we have? Limia. If I could type. 1, 2, 3. We've got 4 different species, which it's not too shabby. I don't know anywhere else that has that many Limia. And each one is neater than the rest. They're in our experience, they're all hardy, they're prolific, they're easy to keep and breed, and I think they're fantastic. So I'm not sure why they're not more popular, other than that the industry just hasn't taken enough notice to breed them in large numbers. Otherwise, I think they would be very popular. Phyllictes tico. These guys are awesome. The males are itty bitty. This is a tiny little, like mosquito fish, tiny little males. I've had these once before. We had a little group of them. We got a few babies, and we eventually sold the group, the breeders and the babies. And now this is the only the second time in my life I've ever been able to source these, and I think they're just an amazing little Livebearer, which you never see ever. Phyllictes quadripunctatus, the 4-spot Merry Widow. Now this one isn't what I would call a like gaudily colored fish, but it's got a neat little pattern and it has neat behavior, and it's in demand because back in the day this was one that a lot of people kept and bred, and for decades now you just haven't been able to get it. So for a lot of people are nostalgic for this fish. This is one that a lot of people, I don't know if you want to say grew up with, but yeah, grew up with. I love it when preserves, oh, was I not showing that? Hang on, was I not showing that? Oh shoot. Was I bad at my job? Hopefully I was showing those. I want to see. I'm waiting for chat to pop up. Because if I was not showing those, I showed the Limias, okay. Did I show the 2 Phyllictes, or was I on the wrong screen? I might have been on the wrong screen. So just a moment here while people convert. You weren't. Okay, sorry. Sorry, folks. This is Phyllictes tico. I think it's a beautiful little Livebearer. And again, one you never see. But there's some pictures of it. And then here's quadripunctatus, the 4-spot Merry Widow. Oh, that picture's so tiny. And now that I'm actually showing you stuff, here is the, what do they call it? The red spot Capella, I believe. Just a different species of splash tetra. Let's see if we can find a bigger picture. There we go. It's got some red spots on it, on that black, and then that black longitudinal dark blotch. Some sunrise wag platy, not a rare fish or anything, but these come from a hobbyist breeder, and they're doing great for us. They're breeding like crazy. They're healthy. They didn't go through the stress of import or any of that. So if you like Livebearers, and if you like this one, these are as healthy as it's going to get. And then the 306, L306. This is one I've been wanting for quite a while. From what I understand about it, unlike some of the other plecos that look similar, these keep the orange, from what I understand anyway. Ours are small. I haven't seen them grow up. But these are supposed to keep the orange throughout their life. If someone here that's kept them long term can chime in and confirm that, I would appreciate that. But that's my understanding. Oh, look at that picture. LauraCariday.info knows what they're doing. Holy cow. Wow, that's beautiful. But anyway, that's please correct me if I'm wrong, or confirm if I'm right, because I've never had this fish long term, and ours are pretty small. But that's what I've read. L306. Someone asked what number. The L306 pleco, or 306 pleco. Okay. And then, if we go to the website, I can show you some other cool stuff that was just listed. So this is one that a lot of people have been waiting for. This is Corydoras equus. And if you go here, there's a little video where you can see the current batch. I just took this video a couple days ago. They're doing awesome. I don't think we've had any losses. And these are not wild caught. These were aquarium bred and raised by a breeder in Germany. So they didn't go through the stress of being wild collected and transitioning to aquariums and all that. These spent their whole lives in aquariums. So I think that's a plus. Then these are the Manakapuru redbacks. The group we have came in smaller, so they don't have as much color as the ones in the picture or the video here. The video and picture were taken of the old batch, but they're still pretty, and they're gonna get every bit as pretty as these guys. Sorry, you can watch the video on your own time if you want to. Then we did get more of the green laser cories. And by the way, we totally bought the breeders out on both the Equus and the green lasers. And that breeder told me they will have Equus again. I said, when can I get them? He said, September. So it's going to be a little while. I don't know how much longer on these. So that's the information I have right now. This is one that there's a few folks that have been waiting on forever. Crobia jingoensis. We were able to bring some in. We found them at a price that almost makes sense. They are $34.99. They are a pricey little fish, but I've been looking for a long time, and this is the best price I found them at in over a year. So I went ahead and did it because I know a couple folks have really been looking for them. So hopefully that makes them happy. This is a great little fish. These are smallish. This orange comes in stronger and stronger as they grow up. In fact, this one might be worth a Google just to see if there's any adult pictures of them as adults that show the strong orange. This one gives you a good idea of it. This gives you a good idea of it. So really neat little fish. Dwarf cichlid, fairly peaceful, at least in my experience with them. And the rest here, I think, well, we were able to release some more of the killies that I love. These are mascara barbs, and by the way, they are the real deal. They're bigger now. This picture was taken when they were quite small, but they're bigger now, and they are truly mascara barbs. They are not filament barbs. Our steak endlers, we have enough of those now that we were able to list them for sale. And the rest of these, I think, oh yeah, Corydoras histatus, great little dwarf cory. You can find Pygmaeus, but it's hard to find histatus. You can find Habrosus more often than histatus as well. But we were able to get a nice group of these in, and they've been doing great for us. So if you've been waiting, we do have them. So that's kind of the rundown, I would say. Oh, one thing to show you here. So for those fish that I showed you that don't have pictures, I'm working on getting them. I just don't have them yet. If you go to page 4 here, up at the top, okay, let's take you from the beginning. So if you click on newest listings, and then page 4, and scroll down, it'll take you to where you can see those. So as soon as the pictures end, the ones without pictures begin. And so those are where you can find stuff. If you're like, where did it go? I'm on the website and I can't find it. They're at the back just because they don't have pictures. And then when you get through that, then you get to the stuff that is out of stock. That's what these green wish list buttons mean. So you're still in the yellow category, just at the end. And that, I'm going to close down a bunch of these tabs to make it easier for my computer to function. And then that's it. I do want to list really quick our affiliate link with Aquarium Co-op. They've been an amazing affiliate partner so far. Been a joy to work with. They're very organized, and we like organized with our business partners. So I just listed our link to our Aquarium Co-op affiliation. If you click on that link and you buy anything from aquariumcoop.com, then we get a little cut of that, and that helps us stay in business. So we do appreciate that. Plus, I do like to support Corey. I have been watching him since since his first live streams ever, when he and Lamont were kind of awkwardly in front of a camera trying to figure out how to live stream. I've been following Corey since before that. And in all that time, I've seen him act with what I think is integrity, and I've seen how he operates and things, and so I'm really happy to be working with him. So I do like sending people to his website because I want to support other people that do that. All right, let's get to viewer activity if there is any, and there is. Xanadu gifted 10 Dancefish memberships. Well, look at that pleasant little Christmas surprise. Hang on, let's get this. These cheap Santa hats, they've got to like fall perfectly or they turn into like a wrinkled mess. There we go. Thank you, Xanadu. Much appreciated. Very, very much appreciated. And I hope your water's solved soon. I know you've been itching to get fish, but waiting for your city to finish updating the water supply system. So I'm hoping that ends for you soon. Killer Kitty throwing down a $10 super chat. Killer Kitty, thank you so much. Always appreciated, never required. But as you know, it makes my wife, Brenda, super happy when people throw money at us. So thanks for throwing money at us. Kelly Foreman, Merry Christmas to you as well. Thank you for your continued support, Kelly. Really, really appreciate you, sister. And Kevin McKenzie gifted 10 Dancefish memberships. Kevin, thank you. The memberships are flying tonight. That is great. In fact, look at this. So many memberships have been given away. They were looking pretty green there. Look at all those green. That's members, by the way, the green. That's cool. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, with that, I wonder if there's any other updates. There is some updates. We're very close to finalizing sourcing a machine that will help us speed up our process for packing the fish. So I'm pretty excited about that. It's not done yet. The bags we use for the fish are tall enough. We have to have kind of a tall bag while the fish are in the bags overnight, avoiding their bowels. Because if it's not tall, they'll jump out, or they'll if they're a goby or something, they'll kind of suction cup. You know those videos, those movies where you've got the person trying to infiltrate the building and they've got their suction cups on the glass and they're going up, and then they get to a certain point and they take the glass cutter and they make a circle and pop it out, and that's what gobies do. So they can do that for a bit. So if you don't have a nice tall bag and you've got a goby, you're gonna have a problem. So it needs to be tall enough that the goby gets out of the water and maybe like one body length up, and then is like, I'm not sensing any more water up there, and then it kind of backs back down. But so we have to have kind of tall bags for the safety of the fish. In a lot of the machines that do semi-automation and helping us seal up those bags, can't take that extra throat height, that extra head height on the bag above where the seal line is going to be. And so that's been one of the big things, and we think we finally found the right piece of equipment. We sent some sample bags to that manufacturer, that engineer, and they showed us videos of them using our bags on their machine, and it looked like it worked well. And so we're gonna do a couple more things and do a video call with them or whatever, and watch them actually work with our stuff and make suggestions and try new things. And if that all works out, we might actually get this machine, which will help us be much more efficient. And we've been looking at these for a couple years, but in the last several months, it's become a pretty big priority. The other thing we've done is we've made a deal with a box manufacturer, and now we're getting better boxes. They're going to be slightly taller, so there's a little more room above, so the heat packs have a little more room to breathe, which will help them maintain their heat better. So I'm excited about that. And also the sample boxes they sent us, the styrofoam was, the tolerances were done really nicely. So the seams between the styrofoam panels didn't tend to like gape open. So that was really good as well. So we've made a little progress there, just trying to make sure that we're doing everything we can to A, be efficient, but B, always put the mission of treating the fish right first. And so I think the new boxes are going to help with that. Besides that, since Monday, I mean, normally what we'd be doing all this week is packing and shipping fish, pulling fish, shipping fish. But since Monday was our last day to ship fish until after the holidays, because of all the massive delays packages experience this close to the holiday, we don't ship until after the holidays at this point. We've been able to spend the last few days doing some maintenance on our system, getting Marv is the name of our cargo van, getting, checking the brakes and rotating the tires and figuring out how to insulate Marv a little better so that when we go pick up fish this January and it's negative 35 degrees Fahrenheit, the Marv doesn't have to work as hard to keep them warm. So build a new shelving unit, which is great because then we can clear up some floor space, put some stuff on shelves and clear some space. And we put a few new aquariums online, so increase the number of aquariums we have. So it's been that kind of stuff. I think you're all up to date now, so let's get to your questions and comments. There are 236 people here watching. Thanks for watching. Thanks for spending a bit of your Wednesday evening with us. If you wouldn't mind taking a moment to share this out with someone that you think might enjoy this kind of content. We're trying to grow the channel, we're trying to grow the stream, and we would greatly appreciate it. I want to thank my moderators for being here week after week, modding the channel, making sure that you folks in the chat behave, and that we have a good fun time here. So thanks, mods. With that, let's get to your questions and comments. But first, Kayla's Reptiles and Aquatics says, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Right back at you, Bob. Thanks for being a member. 16 months. That's awesome. Thank you so much, Bob. Keith746N gifted 5 Dancefish memberships. That's amazing. We better get more people in here, or there's not going to be enough people to get all these gifted memberships. That's great. Thank you so much, Keith746N. I do love it when folks give memberships away, and what that ends up doing is building our community. So that's great for us. It's great for everybody that's here. Spoiled Sushi, throwing down $20 with a Merry Christmas. Hey, right back at you. Thank you so much for the generous Christmas gift. We appreciate it. Thanks, Spoiled Sushi. Still one of the best usernames I've ever seen. I know, Passing Wind is up there. Hey, Aquatic Moose is a member now. Hey, Aquatic, hope you're doing well. Okay, scrolling here to find Scotty the Fish Freak is the next comment I can see. So if you left a question or comment above that, above this right here, Scotty the Fish Freak, this bright orange box, then please feel free to leave it again. It usually doesn't help if you leave your question or comment multiple times, because I literally just scroll down and get them in order. But when chat jumps and cuts off the top, then you got to leave it again. And by the way, if you put Dancefish or @Dancefish or hashtag Dancefish, this bright orange box will appear. And these bright orange boxes are what I look for when I'm scrolling through the chat here looking for something to respond to. So this is the first one I can see. So it says, do you ever get callow panchax or patchy panchax? I seldom see callow available anymore. I do see patchy sometimes, but want more. Most are Cares species. I haven't seen callow panchax available in quite a while. So for those that don't know what this is, one species is Todai, callow panchax, Todai. Then there's Occidentalis and a few others. Let's look at this genus. Look at these guys. These are beautiful killifish. In fact, let's just look at the callow panchax genus. We don't have to differentiate species. Absolutely stunning. Now these get big. What would you say, Scotty? 3 inches? Maybe 4? Do any of them get 4 inches? For a killifish, this is a big, robust fish. They're true annual fish, so they lay their eggs in soil in the bottom of the pond, and it's going to dry out. So from what I know, as far as I've ever bred and kept this fish, I've never had success mop spawning. They have a long incubation period. They're a true annual killifish. Big and impressive. Oh, there you go. There's an Occidentalis. That's a classic picture of an occidentalis. Look at these things. Look at those big boys. And I haven't kept and bred that fish for, geez, 20 years maybe. Maybe not that long, but yeah, actually maybe, yeah. So I haven't seen calopanchax around for quite a while. Patchy panchax, you'll sometimes see at fish clubs and things, but I've never seen patchy panchax available from, let's show folks what patchy panchax is. These are from like, what, Madagascar? So most of these are endangered. A lot of them are from Madagascar, and they're absolutely stunning. Here's the kind of original is Playfairi. This is a fish that has been around for decades and decades in the hobby. In fact, I think William T. Innes in his classic book from, when was that written in? Was that written in the 40s? I can't remember exactly, but a long time ago, featured this fish. That's how long it's been a popular fish in the hobby. This one is not, if I remember correctly, from Madagascar. It's from Africa, but most of the others are from Madagascar. So a really neat group of fish, both the patchy panchax and the calopanchax. And haven't seen calopanchax in a couple decades. I have seen it listed like in the AKA or, you know, other places like that, maybe Aquabid or Get Gills, but I have not actually seen it in person for quite a while. If I ever saw either of those, trust me, I would bring them in. I like both of them very, very much. Actually, I have seen patchy panchax recently. My friend Ross Freeman had a few a little while ago in his 125-gallon aquarium. Mountain greenery. I've been waiting all year to see the mopbeard. Merry Christmas. Hey, here it is. It's bigger and better than last year. I promise you, this mopbeard does not disappoint. Div by Zero. I breed Crobia zinguensis in South Florida. Great little Acara. Oh, that's awesome. If you ever get enough that you need to unload some, that is one that I'd like to purchase locally, because when I have to import them, man, they're just so expensive. I would like to sell that fish for around, I don't know, something like $19.99, I think, instead of $34.99, but I don't have the source to do that right now. Jamie Welch, any chance you are getting any neon tetras in soon? I don't have any plans to bring in neons, but maybe I will. I'm not going to bring anything in until like mid-January at this point. I have to get through the holidays, and then once the holidays are done, there's going to be 2 weeks of just like intense order processing, because since we aren't shipping till after the holidays, that can build up. And so I'm going to have to focus on helping the crew with that for a couple weeks so we can get caught up and clear that backlog. And then I'll bring some more in. And when I do that, I might bring neon tetras in. I do occasionally get requests for them, so maybe it's worth trying. The reason I'm hesitant is, you know, you can get neon tetras for 99 cents on sale at a big box store. Ours would be $5.99. Like, we can't sell fish for less than $5.99. With all the labor and care and quarantine and medication and, you know, having medical experts help and all that stuff. If we have to send them to the lab. Anyway, you get the point. If we sell a fish for less than $5.99, then we might as well not get the fish. We might as well have taken some money and lit it on fire at that point, when you're thinking of it as a company, right, as a business. So the question is, will people pay $5.99 for neon tetras? And I think the answer might be yes. People pay for our ember tetras. People pay. We have some fish that aren't expensive that people are willing to pay a higher price for because they know the quality and they know they've been humanely sourced and all that. So, but that's why I'm hesitant. Like, the only reason someone would buy a neon tetra from us is if they know our story, if they know what we're doing and all that. But if they stumble across us and they see a neon tetra at $5.99, they can go like, what is this place? This is ridiculous, and click off the website. So it's, you know, it takes a lot of messaging for people to understand the value of what we're doing. Spinster Sister, my 2 orange veiled-tail sword girls in blue longfin platies arrived at 79 degrees yesterday. Beautiful and feisty fish. Oh, I'm glad to hear that, Spinster Sister, especially considering the price tag of those. But yeah, aren't they awesome? And I can't wait for you to get babies of the blue long fin platies, because I think you're going to end up with some that are all blue and some that have that nice yellow and red in them as well. I think you're going to get a nice mix. That's my guess. Just seeing what the strain looks like, I think there's an opportunity there to do a couple spawns and then select, okay, these are the types I want to work with, and create a really nice line. And the orange veil-tail sword girls, man, those, yeah, aren't they nice? Yeah, those are great. I hope I can get some more in. This is the first time I've ever had access to those. And the breeder only had 7 of those girls available. I literally bought them out, but they don't produce a lot. Hey, Paul Soltero's here. Good to see you, Paul. Hope you're doing fantastic. Speaking of Paul Soltero, who's been a member for 16 months, says, Merry Christmas to everybody at Dan's Fish and all the fish nerds. You know who you are. Yep. Is it, you know who you are out there? Or is it, you know who you are out there? Either one would work with this crowd, right? That beard is absolutely disturbing. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I see this beard and I'm like, this looks like a whole lot of baby killifish and rainbow fish to me. Maybe rice fish. There's a lot you could do with this beard. It's like a fish love nest on my face. How's that for an image for you? What's on your face, Dan? Well, the fish honeymoon suite. That's what I'm wearing. Mountain Greenery. Can we enter the mop beard giveaway in Canada? I don't see a problem with that. Let's say yes. If you're in Canada, I think I can send this beard to you. Yep. Let's say yes. Yeah, I didn't think of that before. But let's include Canada. They're not included so often. Fish Hunter. I remember about a year ago hearing about our government wanting to pass an act to regulate the importation of aquarium fish. Was curious if you had any updates. Yes, it did not pass. It was basically a page and a half piece of pork stuck into a, was it 1,600 page bill? And a lot of that ended up getting removed before final reading. So it did not pass. But that does not mean that the threat is over. There are people out there that don't think that we should be able to have pets. Despite the fact that humans have been, when was the first domesticated dog? Like we've been keeping, it's part of us to do this, as evidenced by the fact that we've been doing it since before history was recorded and written down, right? From time immemorial, we've been doing this. So there's a thing about that with us. But despite that, despite the fact that it's good for our mental health and all that stuff, good for our well-being. And by the way, if the pet's kept properly, I think good for their well-being as well. I think an aquarium fish has a much better life than a wild fish, provided it's mainly sourced and cared for and all that stuff. But if it's treated right, I mean, I've imported wild fish. Their fins are all nipped up because predators, and not just predators, but there are fish that dedicate, their diet is eating scales, eating eyes, eating fins off the fish swimming around them. And then there's the straight up predators that just eat the, you know what I mean? It's a rough world out there. So I don't think a fish has a consciousness to where it's like, I'm in an aquarium, I'm not free, I'm unhappy. I think what the fish is thinking is, hey, I feel kind of safe and there's plenty of food and nothing's nipped off a scale lately. And I haven't seen anything with big teeth lately trying to eat me, right? In general, if we keep the fish properly, I think that's the case. I actually think fish in aquariums have a better life than fish in the wild, provided we take care of them properly. So anyway, but there's a group of people that disagree with that and will continue because it's their life purpose. It's what their identity is based on. It's their what they find meaning in life doing. They will continue to come after people that have pets. And as fish keepers, we've escaped that for a while because people in the general public often think of fish as, you know, they used to be called ornamental fish because they're ornaments, like they're pretty things, almost more analogous to a house plant than to a dog or a cat, like how people think of fish somewhat. But that's changed in the last couple decades, and it's going to continue to change. And by the way, I'm glad that's changing. I'm glad we're thinking about fish as animals that deserve respect and proper care instead of just a dispensable decoration. I'm glad we think of fish about that. But now, because of that, they're more and more getting wrapped up in the category of animals that people do care about. The furry, fuzzy ones, the things that people relate to on an emotional level. And we're at the point where we're going to see more and more regulation be proposed, and groups that don't want us keeping fish as pets, you know, putting everything they have into making that happen. So we are going to need to be vigilant. We're going to need to stand up for our rights, and in order to keep doing what we're doing. A big part of that is being responsible and helping other people be responsible pet owners as well. Right now, I think there's a case to be made that it's, you know, I see their point. When you look at this industry and how poorly fish are treated in the supply chain and at different levels of this industry, I get it. Like, I don't want it shut down, but I see why people could be upset with that. When you walk into a big box store and there's all these bettas in little containers, and they don't have any heat, by the way. They're probably in the low 70s. And several of them are like, you know, decaying away because they died 3 days ago. You know, I see why people are upset. So what I want to do is operate in such a way that I'm not giving folks that are concerned about the well-being of animals something to be concerned about. I want to operate in a way that that we're doing such a good job that it's like, oh, I guess we don't need to be as concerned about that. Now, they will be, because there's this, you know, fundamentalist aspect to how some folks in these groups think, but I do agree with them that something needs to change. I don't think the answer is do away with our right to keep pets. I think the answer is we as an aquarium fish industry and as hobbyists need to be doing such a good job that there's no reason to want us to stop keeping these animals. So that's what I'm trying to do. Fish hunter, that's what I went off on. Sorry about that. I don't get political. Like, there's a rule here, like no religion, no politics, right? We're just trying to be a place where people like fish can hang out without having to worry about that stuff. There's plenty of places you can go talk to your heart's content about politics or religion or whatever. And go do that if that's your thing. But here I want anyone to be able to come, no matter what their religion, no matter what their politics or lack of religion or lack of politics, whatever. I just want this to be a place where people who like fish can come hang out, regardless of what they think in other areas of their life. But in this case, where there's policy being proposed and they got further along than I would have liked in the process, then I feel like I do have to be active because it directly affects what we're doing. The rusty nut, spray insulation in the back of Marv. I've thought about that. I think, though, instead, I can do something like this. Do you know what this is? You've seen totes and little containers made out of this stuff. We can get a good quality version of this There's a company in town called, I think it's called Canon. They've changed their name a couple times, but I think it's called Canon right now. And they use a high quality form of that insulation to build covers for, I think it's Army jets, for the Air Force, I believe, that they slip onto the wings of airplanes and jets and such during the cold weather to keep them warm or to keep the ice from forming or something like that. And so I have access to their stuff. They give away the scraps or sell the scraps. And so I might be able to use something like that, which I think would be easier than spray foam. The problem with spray foam is you can spray it on, but once it's sprayed on, you don't control it. You put it on and then it kind of grows as it will. And it's also permanent. So I don't know if it's going to be spray insulation, but we are going to do some insulation back there. Otis Cauldron. Been growing plants for years. Plants dying for years. Need a 101 on fertilizer for submerged plants. Otis, I would refer you to the Aquarium Co-op's channel for that. I don't know nothing about plants. So I wish I could help you. Or, hang on, Johnny Foster is calling me. That must mean something's wrong with the chat. Just a sec. Hey, Johnny, you're live. Hang on, I'm going to put you on speaker. Okay, what's that?
We have an anonymous donor that wants to give away 3 $100 gift cards.
Well, how could I say no? That's awesome. Thank you to that anonymous donor. I will do that. In fact, yeah, I will do that. So what I'll do is I'll draw the mop beard soon, and then that'll leave us time to do those 3. Oh, that's great. Thanks for letting me know, Johnny.
Okay, sounds good.
All right, bye. Well, I have my volume. I don't have my ringer on. I just happen to see it flashing, my phone flashing. So I'm glad I looked down. Whoever is doing that, $300 gift certificates to Dan's Fish, thank you. I really appreciate that kind of support. And just thank you so much. There's some people that have been doing stuff like that for years now, and it just, I don't know, warms the heart. So thank you. So we will make that happen. $100 gift certificates. Let me write down what this is because I get camera brain. Times 3. Like if I got to the point where if I don't write that down and then I do it in a little while, I'll be like, it was a $300 gift certificate or it was $350 gift certificate. I have to write stuff down when I'm on camera. I'm a little better when I'm off camera, but camera brain's real. Mountaintop puffer keeper. Could a spotted Congo puffer could be a spotted Congo puffer beard too. For you it would be, yeah. My cross river puffer breeding project is now reset. I ended up with 4 males and kept 1. It's him and hundreds of limia in a densely planted 270. Next up is a female cross river puffer. All right. My friend Wesley Wong at Rare Fish on Instagram might be able to hook you up with a cross river puffer. Rare Fish on Instagram. His name's Wesley Wong. Good old friend from back in my days in Los Angeles. Kyla Cody Miller, can I buy groups of plecos from you, or can you send me the right way? Or can you send me the right way? I'm looking to spend $200 on a small group or male and female pair. Kyla, would you email us hello@dansfish.com? That's HELLO @dansfish.com, and let us know what you're thinking. Zanzimorg. Have you ever kept newts or salamanders? No, I've cared for them in pet stores that I've worked at, but I have, wait, is that true? No, I don't think I've ever kept them myself in my own private collection. I don't know a lot about them. I've done some fire belly newts and a couple other things, but I don't know that much about newts and salamanders. Aquarium Co-op, Corey, hello, good to see you. What's your feeding plan to stack weight on live bears when you receive them? All right, so what I like to do is a two-pronged attack. So a lot of the live bears, as I'm sure Corey knows, come in with parasites, and sometimes it's a pretty heavy load. So the first thing we do when we get live bears in is we salt the heck out of them, because that helps them de-stress. Salt helps remove nitrogenous waste from the bloodstream. So if they experienced ammonia in the bag while they were being transported, it can help relieve that. Something I learned while we had a veterinarian in residence here this summer is that, because I was talking with her and we had a group of fish that had come in with ammonia poisoning, and I was suggesting, should we use methylene blue? And she said we could, or we could just use salt. And I was like, oh, I didn't know that. And so I did research later and found out that this salt is actually part of the pathway, sodium, that fish use when they diffuse ammonia out their gills. And so you put a bunch of salt in there, and it doesn't just help with osmotic stress and slime coat and stuff. It actually helps with ammonia toxicity and helping them get rid of any extra nitrogenous waste. So we do that. And then we usually, all of our live bears go through what we call a Livebearer protocol. It's very similar to the Aquarium Co-op Med Trio, but we do, we use antibiotics if they've been exposed to ammonia poisoning, because that will prevent the secondary infections. And by the way, ammonia poisoning is very common, and so using those antibiotics is often really helpful. So that prevents the secondary infections that attack the tissue that's been damaged by the ammonia. So we do that, and then we do metronidazole, praziquantel, and flubendazole. And we also do levamisole. So we have a way that we've worked out with the veterinarian to kind of stagger those medications so we're not overwhelming the kidneys or the liver, and we're helping get the fish free of most parasites. So we do that, and then once they're free of parasites and they've kind of recovered a bit, if they've been exposed to ammonia, then we feed them really heavily. And what we tend to do is food that lasts a long time in the tank. So we tend to use things like the monster pellet from Extreme, because it's huge and it's pretty water stable. So we can put some of those in there and the fish can chew on those for hours. And we might use the, what's the Extreme algae wafer? Is it Bottom Scratcher? I can't remember the name of it. We buy it in bulk. We don't get the neat little packets. But we do that. I've also had good luck with Hikari Massivore Delight and Hikari algae wafers. So basically we want to rotate. We want to feed them some veggies one day and then some good protein the next day. And that's the way we do it. We try to get rid of the parasites that almost all of them come in with, even if they're bred on farms and things. Sometimes even when they come from hobbyists. Like we bought some wild type platies, and they came from a breeder in Germany. They were bred in aquariums. They weren't even bred on like fish farms. These were bred in aquariums by hobbyists in Germany. And we had a heck of a time with parasites. So parasites in live bears are very, very common, even if they aren't coming from a farm source. Now, often I can get them from hobbyists or breeders that breed them in aquariums, and they're in pretty good shape. But I'm surprised at how much parasites are an issue with live bears. So we clean them out, and then we just keep food in front of them. And something we do here at Dan's Fish is we give a constant supply of fresh water to the tanks. So our tanks get 100% water change every hour or two, or maybe 3, depending on how high we have the flow up on that tank. And so we're able to keep a lot of food in front of the fish without having danger of it overwhelming the nitrifying bacteria populations. So that's how we do it. And by the way, a lot of this I learned from you, Corey, when you first introduced, years ago now, when you first introduced the aquarium, the co-op trio, that was a light bulb moment for me. And that's what I started with. And from there, I've kind of refined it to fit my own needs as I learn things. But yeah, that's how it started. And by the way, I think it's absolutely necessary with live bears and a lot of other fish. This happens with cories, it happens with plecos, it happens with a lot of fish. If they aren't dewormed, like with very few exceptions, all of the live bears and cories and plecos and stuff are gonna have something and need to be treated. And if they're not, especially if they're wild collected, or if they were bred on a big farm in that kind of environment, then in my experience, you're likely to have problems. So that's what we do. Kyle Hernandez, what's the best thing to feed freshwater pipefish? They seem to be picky eaters. Live baby brine shrimp is awesome. If you can start a little scud culture in a separate container and then feed them the scuds, that's good too. They won't eat the adult scuds, but the scuds will be reproducing in there and they'll pick off all the little baby scuds. So it's like a continuous supply of supplement for them. They'll eat microworms, banana worms, Walter worms, that kind of thing. But basically think of live food that you would feed to fry and feed them that. Ours also take frozen bloodworms. They need to be smaller bloodworms, but we do feed ours frozen bloodworms as well. So they're probably not going to be eating any like dry prepared foods, flakes or pellets or anything like that. Spinster Sister, are the trout grenades from the Greg Sage line? They are. As of about half an hour ago, I know that. Johnny asked me that earlier today, reminded me of that, and I emailed the breeder, and he got back and said, yes, they come from Select Aquatics line. So they are from the Greg Sage line. Now, there's two lines we have, though. So some we get from Germany, and some we get from, we got from a hobbyist who got their stock from the Select Aquatics line. So trout. Okay, so the ones from Germany are not available now. Well, neither are these. These just sold out. We literally had some of these earlier today. It looks like those just sold out. Okay, so I don't have to show you the difference because we don't have any available right now. But when we do, we list where they're from here, if we know it. These ones are hobbyist bred in the United States. And now that we know they're from the Greg Sage line, next time we get them, we'll add that to the description here, so you know that they're from the Greg Sage line. And then let's just look here. Then these are ones we breed and raise right here at Dan's Fish. These are from a hobbyist in the United States. These are aquarium bred and raised, but not probably on a fish farm because they aren't listed as a hobbyist in the United States. These are from Aquarium Glacier. These were hobbyist bred and raised in Europe, so somewhere other than Aquarium Glacier. So we try to put some information here so you can know where your fish are coming from. And yeah, when we know it, we put it. We don't always know it. Okay, Scotty the Fish. Oh wait, I have to do this giveaway. And then I can take this off, maybe. Yeah. Okay, we're gonna do the giveaway. The giveaway here is for the mop beard. There's 175 eligible users. Thanks for playing, everybody. And the winner is Nabokov Fan 87. Nabokov, I'm so glad it's you. You've been active in this chat for a long time. You've been an active part of this community. So I'm glad to see that you won. Well deserved. You do, however, as you know, need to chime in and leave a comment here. You have 2 minutes to chime in to claim your winnings. If you don't, you forfeit your winnings, and then we redraw. So it's 8:06 now. Let me put my little Google timer on here for 2 minutes. Okay, there it is. It's going. It's all on you, Nabokov. All right, we'll check in a couple minutes. Jeff Kane, been a member for 16 months. Dan, is there going to be a new hashtag for the gift certificates or still mop beard? Yeah, I'll do a new one. Yes. As soon as we draw the mop beard. And Kids Aquatics and Reptiles and Aquatics throwing down Pippi Longstocking in the form of a super chat. Thank you, Bob. You know how Pippi puts pep in my step. Okay, the next one I can see is Scotty the Fish Freak talking about Calopanchax, a genus of killifish. Scotty says, bigger killies for sure, similar, if not bigger, than blue gularis. Okay, yeah. The biggest ones I saw, I mean, it's been 20 years since I had them, but I do think they were up around 4 inches or so. Bentley Pasco, Merry Christmas to all. Right back at you, the Benster. Hope you're doing well, Bentley. Good to hear from you. And give the beard to Stephen P. All right, not Stefan. This is coming at you. Can you handle it? I know this is a lot of sexy. I don't know if Stephen can handle this much sexy, but we will find out. Ta-da! All right, Stephen, it's coming at you. And I'm not even going to wait to see if Stephen wants it or not. I'm just sending it. When we give away fish, we have to make sure that the recipient wants them, right? We don't want to send fish somewhere that doesn't have a good home set up for them and all that. But the mop beard, that's just going. That is going. Thanks, Nabokov fan, for playing. Now we're going to cancel that and do the... see here. The hashtag for the $100 gift certificates, let's just say thanks. Hashtag thanks. Yeah, hashtag THANKS. Because I'm really grateful that that person did that, and I want to thank them. So if you would like to be entered to win a $100 gift certificate to dansfish.com, there are 3 of them being given away tonight, a total of $300, 3 separate $100 gift certificates. Then enter hashtag thanks in the chat, and my sincere thanks to that mystery donor. That is very much appreciated. Sherry Dwyer, I thought I saw Limia Isla on your Livebearer video. What has been your experience with them? I don't have a lot of experience with them. That particular Limia is new to me. This is my first time keeping them. But so far, my experience with them is they're just fine. I have not noticed them to be any more delicate or anything than the others. And if I remember right, I think they've got a ton of babies in there. So I think they're cranking out babies as well. I got to wet my whistle. Just a second. I've been talking for 1 hour and 10 minutes without a drink. Here we go. Oh, sometimes water is just amazing. By the way, the water here in Sheridan, Wyoming is amazing because it's snow runoff from the mountains that I can see right there. I can see my water source right there. It's pretty awesome. Rick's Fish, Merry Christmas. Hey, Rick, right back at you. Thank you so much for the super chat. Always appreciated. It's never required, but as a startup company, every little bit helps, and we appreciate the support. Jacob Metzner, hey Dan, Merry Christmas. Curious to know what the availability of these rare species like the Bailey's platy will look like in the future. Do you plan to keep bringing them in? Well, so far, in all my 30 plus years of fish keeping, this is the first and only time I've seen them available. Now, if I was a member of the American Livebearer Association, went to the conventions and all that, I could probably find someone that was working with them. But as far as being able to find a breeder at a commercial, kind of commercial, it's not even that commercial. Anyway, find a breeder that had enough and be able to combine those with other stuff to have enough fish to make an import worthwhile. This is the only time I've seen that happen. I hope they'll be available in the future, but this is my first time getting them. So we'll see. The Lone Aquarist, coffee for you. Oh, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I'll turn it into hot chocolate. Let's say I'm an energetic guy. Like, whenever someone comes over and has a question, I'm like, oh, let me show you. And we have to kind of walk across the warehouse for me to show them. I walk for a while and then I have to stop and turn around and wait. Like, I'm a quick walker. I'm like I've more the energy of a Chihuahua than like an Irish setter, right? And, so if I drink coffee, man, it would be a problem. It'd be a problem. Kelly Foreman, Jake says Merry Christmas too. Oh, hey, Jake, I hope you're doing well. I really hope to run into you another time. It was fascinating to have that discussion with you about your work and all that. I won't get into the details here publicly, but I thought that was really cool. Little Black Dogs 4, or B, I don't know where 4 came from. Little Black Dogs B, becoming a member. Thanks for joining the Fishmonger crew. Greatly appreciate it. Welcome to the community. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and give away a $100 gift certificate. We'll do the first one now because we've only got 23 minutes to do all of them. 27 minutes. My math is so off. 17 minutes. So here we go. This is for a $100 gift certificate provided by a very generous anonymous donor. 310 Aquatics has won. 310 Aquatics, congratulations. You have 2 minutes to chime in. Let us revamp our timer here. There we go. 2 minutes to chime in and leave a comment to claim your winnings. If you don't claim them within 2 minutes, and you just leave a comment in the chat, that's all you have to do, then we'll give it to someone else. You'll forfeit your winnings. Okay, Tony Adams, saw the Equus this morning, and I am circling the wife and kids. Get the holidays, and soon as I get back in town, I'm coming for them. Well, we were able to get a decent group. I think we were able to bring in like 80 some odd of them, something like that. And so the odds, I think, are good that they'll still be here for another day. Although last time when I listed them, I think we had like 45 and they were gone in like 2 hours. So I don't know for sure if that's true. But the odds are better than they would normally be because we were able to get a bigger group than normal. So I hope you're able to get some Tony Adams. They are a beautiful fish. They're an awesome quarry. A 4-inch killifish? Holy crap. Yeah, calopanchacs are awesome. They're tricky though. Let's show people this fish again because people were probably not here. This genus of killifish is very different than your average killifish in that they're big, they look like a fundulopanchax or an aphyosimian, but they're pure annual species and they are mean. Like 2 males will just kill each other. And my advice, if you do try them, is keep them separate, condition them really well, then put them together with some peat moss so they can spawn in a lot of cover, like have a really dense mop off in a couple corners. So if there is a problem, they can get away from each other. And put them in there to spawn for a day or two, and then I would separate them again. Like the trick with these guys, they're beautiful, but the trick is they're big, tough, aggressive fish. So how do you get them together and have them spawn without them killing each other? And the way I described it is the best way I know how to do that. Scotty the Fish Freak, yes, Madagascar for the patchy panchax species of killifish. Jason F., can you share an experience where ick was hard to get rid of compared to normal? What did you do? Yes, I can, but first let me check in and see. All right, 301 Aquatics has chimed in. They are here, so they have won. Congratulations, 301 Aquatics. Send us an email, hello@dancefish.com. That's HELLO @dancefish.com, and we will make sure you get your winnings. Thank you to the donor and Merry Christmas. Yes. Thank you to the donor. I second that. Okay, so ick. So here's the thing about ick. Something I learned a few years ago from a certified aquatic veterinarian is that there are over 20 organisms that can cause something on a fish that we would call ick. So there is a specific organism, what is it, multifilus or something? Oh, now I've got to look it up. Ick, fish disease. What's the actual organism we're thinking of when we think of ick? What's the actual scientific name of that? Here it is. Ichthyophrilius multifilus is the organism that we refer to when we talk about ick, which is, sometimes called white spot disease. The problem is there's over 20 other organisms, pathogens, that can create white spots, ick, on the fish. So the question is, if you're experienced treating ick, and I don't know how you do it, I usually use ICX and salt. And then sometimes if it's really bad, maybe an antibiotic to prevent secondary infections. Not always necessary, but just depends on the situation. And it's like, I've treated ick a million times, and then you get a case of ick and you go to treat it, and it's like, why will this ick not be treated? We often in the hobby call that super ick. And the idea has been put forth that that's ick that's become, immune, resistant to our normal medications. Maybe, but unless you actually do a skin scraping and you diagnose that as the actual organism, what was that? Ichthyophrilius multifilus, then maybe what you're treating isn't actually ick. Maybe it's one of those other 20 plus pathogens that presents as if it is ick. So that's what I suspect might be going on if you have ick and you can't treat it. In which case, without getting it diagnosed, then we have to play the shotgun method, right? So if we treat with the ick medications and that's not working, oh man, I don't envy you at that point, but I would probably try, I'm not a veterinarian, but if that was my fish, I would probably try something else that treated external parasites, because maybe it's a different kind of parasite causing that. I would probably try a prazimetrofluben bath with salt. That's probably what I would try. But there are something else I learned in that conversation. No, I learned this from Dr. Lowe, the fish vet YouTube channel. When he was treating some ick, he described a few viruses that present like ick. And if that's the case, then I wouldn't know a treatment for a virus. So I wonder if what you are trying to treat is actually ick or if it's something else. And if it's something else, then no wonder it's not responding to the ick medication. And without actually diagnosing it, it's going to be hard, I think, to figure it out. But Prazi, Metro, and Fluben we've used a lot, and generally those don't harm anything. They can if they're used wrong or if the ecosystem they're put in gets off balance or something, but generally they're fairly safe and effective against a lot of external parasites that could be causing something like that. So, okay, it's 8:20. I better do another giveaway. So this is for another $100 gift certificate to dancefish.com, donated by a very generous anonymous donor. Thank you, whoever you are. And the next winner of that is Trent. Trent, you have won $100 if you chime in 2 minutes. Just leave a comment in the chat to claim your winnings. This is exciting. What fun. What holiday fun. Scotty the Fish Freak, I have the Playfair and it's not Cares. Right, it's the Madagascar ones that are Cares. I want the other patchies like Patricier, and I never can say that. Sparkurum? I know what you're saying. Yeah, my best advice would be joining the AKA, the American Killifish Association, and putting something out in the BNL, which is their monthly business newsletter, saying, I am looking for patchy panchaks other than Playfair. If you have any, please contact me. Or I'm looking for callow panchaks. You can put an ad in there, a notice in there, and that'll go out to all the killifish freaks. And they're keeping them. There's people out there that have them. And I think a year membership to the AKA is, I don't know what it is, maybe $50 or something. I remember when it was 25. Okay, I have 3 female spotted Congo puffers. Do you have any males? Probably. I'm going to let Johnny take this one. I personally am not really comfortable sexing the puffers. I'm just always afraid I'll get it wrong, and then you'll have spent like, a couple $100 on the wrong fish, and I just don't want to be responsible for that. And I can kind of look at them and see a difference, but it's not black and white to me. It's not like a for sure thing. So I shy away from that. So Johnny, I'll let you take this one. Would you email us, Keith, would you email us hello@dansfish.com? That's HELLO@dansfish.com. Johnny will get that. And if he's comfortable doing that and see some obvious males, we can try. But I don't know if we can 100% do that. I'd put our success rate at maybe 80%. Okay, let's see if that giveaway has been claimed. It has. Trent is here. Thank you, everybody. Thank you to the anonymous donor as well. Seconded, thirded, the motion has passed. All right, Trent, send us an email to claim your winnings, and we'll get that all taken care of. Well, I guess we should just roll right into the next one. For the last $100 gift certificate to dansfish.com, donated by a very generous anonymous donor, Land Giraffe. What a great name. Land Giraffe, you have won if you chime in the next 2 minutes and leave a comment in chat to claim your winnings. If you don't, you'll forfeit your winnings and we will redraw. All right. What a nice Christmas surprise. Thank you to that donor again. I love it when that stuff happens. Makes things exciting. Okay, Carrie Britton. My autosinkless catfish have cleared the majority of algae in my tanks. Would algae wafers supplement their diet? What would you feed? Yes, we feed algae wafers. We've used the Hikari brand, we've used the Extreme brand, both successfully. And we also put in zucchini. So if you coin some zucchini, stick it on a fork so it sinks, and drop it in the tank. In our experience, the ottos love that. They'll get on there. Now, if it's their first time, it sometimes takes a couple days before they learn that that's the food. But once they learn zucchini's the food, they really like it. And I would just rotate it every 24 hours so it doesn't spoil in there. And that way they have some food in front of them all the time between feedings. But they do eat algae wafers. Wood is great for them as well. If you have wood in the tank, that's awesome. Stuff grows on the wood. They'll go kind of scrape it off, and while they're doing that, they'll get a little biofilm and stuff in their mouth. We also use Bacter AE. Now, we have a lot of wood and plates and hard surfaces, like horizontal surfaces in our aquariums that have the autos. And so the Bacter AE, which is made for shrimp, it's a really fine powdered biofilm type supplement made for shrimp, but autos eat it as well. And so that is a food that we use for our autos. What else do we, you could use French cut green beans as well. I tend to prefer zucchini, but if you want to mix it up, different veggies like that, yeah. There's probably nothing wrong with the very occasional dose of protein too, if you want to feed a more protein-rich pellet. Although, if you look at the ingredients of your algae wafers, I bet there's quite a bit of protein in there as well. So it might not be necessary. Okay, let's see if this giveaway has been claimed. There it is. Land Giraffe. Wow, thank you so much. All right. That is 3 $100 gift certificates to dansfish.com out the door. Land Giraffe, please email us hello@dansfish.com. That's HELLO@dansfish.com to claim your winnings. Before I sign off, I do want to relist our link to the Aquarium Co-op, our affiliate link to them. If you click on that link and buy some stuff at aquariumcoop.com, we'll get a little kickback, which helps, and it will help out the Aquarium Co-op, which I think is a great company. You mentioned wanting to be able to source Crobia jingoensis domestically, says J.W. Carlson. Are there other fish that you think would be a good source that way versus importing? All fish. Every fish is better sourced domestically because the import, getting them shipped directly from the breeder to our doorstep is much less stressful to the fish than if they go through the import process. Now, we have trimmed down the import process. We often buy directly from the breeder or collectors if we're importing. And if we don't, maybe there's one or maybe there's two people, two steps in the chain to us, as opposed to the 6 to 9 steps that are in your typical supply chain. So we do source as close, we do buy our stock as close to the source as we can, but nothing beats being able to just buy them directly from a breeder in the United States. You send them out that evening, they get to us the next morning. Like that's as humane as it gets. So every fish we would want to source locally, but specifically we're looking for killifish. We're looking for wild type bettas. We're looking for really high quality live bearers, especially strains you just don't find in the pet stores. Corridors, I love to buy Corys and Plecos as well from hobbyists. But literally, whatever. Like, I mean, there's some, like, I can't sell convict cichlids. Like, I know a lot of people are probably drowning in how many babies they have from convict cichlids. It doesn't make business sense for me to do that. But we will carry most fish if they're small and peaceful, you know, if they're comfortable in a community aquarium. We tend to stay away from the big aggressive stuff. But yeah, I'd love to buy from a hobbyist. Absolutely. Would you carry Hara giardoni? We do carry that. The dwarf anchor catfish? Yeah. Do we not have them? Let's see, and then we will sign off. Let's see, anchor. That's my anchor. Yeah, there they are. We've got them right here. We've got 66 of them. So there you go. I will link those down in the chat so you can get right to them. Boom. Hara giardoni. Or better yet, go to one of our affiliates, click their link, and then go buy it. Help our affiliates out. Okay, with that, I think I'm going to close this. I just want to say happy holidays to everybody. Merry Christmas. Really appreciate you. Every one of you that's helped us over the years. Some of you have been here for a long time, and you've helped with super chats. You've helped by spreading the word. You've helped by ordering fish from us. You've helped by being active in the chat and helping people that have questions and comments. Like, there's a million ways people have helped this community, and I just want to say thank you. Happy holidays. I appreciate you. And I hope you have a great Christmas break. Until next week, I don't think it's next year. We've still got, yeah, the 27th. Yeah. So we'll be back next Wednesday, same bat time, same bat channel. Until then, oh, I got to do my real sign off, don't I? I almost didn't. Whew, that would be weird. All right, I want to thank my moderators for modding. I want to thank everyone that's a member of the Dan's Fish YouTube channel. Thanks for being part of the Fishmonger crew. I want to thank everyone that gifted memberships to other people tonight. That was extremely generous and very helpful to our effort to grow this community. So thank you. I want to thank people that were active in the chat. And if you weren't in the active, hang on. Yeah, talking's hard. There we go. And if you were not active in the chat, then I want to thank you anyways. Hail the Lurker Nation. If you're watching the replay, hello from the past. And if you're listening to the podcast, which I am like 3 months behind posting, then I guess I finally got around to posting them. And thanks for listening. Anyway, till next week, have a good one, everybody. Bye-bye.